Drink Georgetown Tavern Beer, your new locally brewed domestic style lager. 4.2% alcohol. Cheap, good, local.
And ladies and gentlemen, Stranger Things to Danny Kelly and The Ringer. That's right. Danny Kelly is a big superstar. Folks, I don't know how much longer we'll have with Danny before the executive producers at Ozark will snatch up Danny Kelly to write and pilot a new TV show, or people at Peaky Blinders, but he's in the same family now as Jason Bateman. Ladies and gentlemen, Danny Kelly is a coworker. In fact, he's been invited to the Netflix Christmas party next year. Senior staff writer, Ringer Fantasy Football Show, Ringer NFL Draft Show, which you can now watch all of it on Netflix. I did it this morning. It looks so good. Did they give you guys new cameras now?
They did. They did, in fact.
Jesus, they're unbelievable.
4K, baby.
Yeah.
I think I'm like the last person that needs a 4K camera, but
I didn't want to say it. I wanted you to say it, but
yeah. They say the camera adds 10 pounds or whatever. What is a 4K camera? Is that
I thought you guys looked great. It was just really cool to flip on Netflix, and then there you are.
It's very surreal. Very surreal.
We started this thing at fieldgoals.com. You were there, and Scott Inyart was I think, I don't know if Scott was doing stuff for Field Goals or not.
He was doing a little bit, and then we did the podcast together. Yeah. And
then the three of us got together, I don't know, like 15 years ago, and said, let's talk Seahawks once a week.
Yeah.
And look at you. You've gone from fieldgoals.com now to the Ringer. You've been the Ringer for a while. You're on Netflix. Think about that first. Which Netflix, was Netflix even a thing then? Yeah.
Netflix has been around since like the early 2000s, I want to say, but that was when they were doing DVDs. Do you remember?
That's when you were getting shipped to your house, right?
Yeah.
I say this, congratulations. Good things happen to good people, Danny Kelly, and you're a good person, good egg, and it's surreal to see you now on Netflix.
It is very surreal. I will admit that. It's like I showed my son last night. I was like, "Hey, you want to see something?" And he was like, "What?
Yeah.
How are you on there?" And then he's like, "Can I watch my show now?"
Yeah.
He was excited for literally three seconds, and then he moved on.
Yeah. I just can't wait till we get to the top 10 TV shows in the U.S. today, and you're going to be right there with His and Hers and Kill Tony.
What is the Netflix show that you would most want to be on as an extra right now?
Oh, right now?
For me, I think Peaky Blinders would be my dream. They're making a new one.
Yeah. Well, aren't they making a movie?
They're making a movie, and then I want to say they're making a new like offshoot series, but I could be wrong.
I need to go and watch. I gave up on it. Like it went that weird period where it stopped for it stopped forever.
That was the pandemic.
He was off making movies, and then I remember the scene. I think I stopped it when they had all the issues at the racetrack. And then he was like left out in the middle of nowhere, like on the payphone, if you remember that. And then I haven't picked up it since then. I need to go back.
Oh man, you're missing like
I know I've
more than half the story, pal.
I know. Didn't they go to the US then?
They go to Canada. They start importing into Boston. There's this whole storyline with Jack Kennedy, I want to say,
Jack Kennedy makes an appearance.
He's the Kennedy father or whatever.
Yeah. Well,
he was involved there. They don't call him that in the show, but it's like kind of acknowledged that he's supposed to be like based on like the Kennedy patriarch.
And he had mob ties, of course.
Exactly. So yeah, there's a lot going on. It's I've always called it kind of the really serious, violent version of Forrest Gump, where Tommy Shelby is like involved in every world event from like from World War I until World War II, basically, because then they talk about like the fascist party in Britain in the run up to World War II, like all this stuff. Does
Tom Hardy come back?
Yes. Well, spoiler alert. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. I just
watched it, but yeah.
Well, it's great because with him, you had to put on the subtitles.
Oh, you cannot understand a word he says.
Nothing.
Absolutely
nothing.
He's a great character.
Oh,
Solomon.
What is Solomon? Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's it. All right. Yeah, Peaky Blinders. A close second would be maybe an extra, be like a fashion designer in Emily in Paris.
Totally. 100%. 100%. I'm trying to remember some of the other like Netflix branded reality shows that I could actually be on where like I
like reality. I don't know the reality ones. I just know
I don't watch them.
Ozark was a good one. Yeah, I mean, I can look at the shows.
Stranger
Things, obviously.
Squid Game,
yeah. Outer Banks.
There we go. Now we're talking.
How about it?
Teen drama?
Yeah. How about a role in Outer Banks? So you could be with what's her name, Sarah Cameron. So you could be.
I don't know who that is.
She's like the main character.
Okay.
Yeah. House of Cards, minus Kevin Spacey.
We don't really talk about that one,
but just minus Kevin Spacey, right?
Correct.
I think if you don't have to be in
Robin Wright Penn, or I guess Robin Wright now.
How about Tires? You ever watch that one with Shane Gillis?
I have watched that a couple times. It's funny.
That's a really good one. All right. Netflix star Danny Kelly is here to wow us with all his football fodder. I was watching, and I do love, I don't think this, well, maybe this is new. Is the fart or shart a new segment?
No, that's been going on for a while, but we thought it was important that we kept it going once we got on Netflix.
Yeah, that was a great. The fart or shart was wonderful.
It's a statement segment.
Yeah.
We're not changing.
Good.
Know?
Don't change. I mean, you got all these Netflix producers are going to ask you to do different stuff. Go watch the latest one that's on as they are wrapping up the all the playoff action right now.
Mm-hmm.
The Danny Kelly, and I don't even know if he remembers. And he like subconsciously did this because it's ingrained in the back of his head. He made a reference, an old reference. Do you even know what I'm talking about on this last week's show? You made a reference that comes back to this show.
What was it? Now I can't remember. Oh yeah, I did.
You did.
I thought of you for that.
You said, I can't remember. You put somebody on the barge. You're like, maybe it was Matt LaFleur. You're like, somebody, he's got to go on the barge and get him out of town. And I'm like, the barge. Danny remembers.
You did the Leo DiCaprio meme. Whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. You referenced the barge. You guys can have it. You guys can.
I thought of it
if you want. But let's wrap up the wild card action. What was the biggest surprise from the wild card weekend, in your opinion?
Biggest surprise. Well, I can't say anything was too surprising, Puckett, because I got literally every one of my picks right. I went.
You thought the Bears would knock off the Packers?
I did think the Bears were going to win. I picked the 49ers to beat the Eagles. I picked the Texans to beat the Steelers. Not that was an upset, really, but and I picked the Bills to beat the Jags. Trying to think of what.
Well, let's unpack the Niners for a second. Yeah. Why did you think the Niners would go into Philadelphia and win?
I think the Niners, because of the way that they played against the Seahawks in that one final game, Seahawks versus Niners, that kind of determined the seeding of the playoffs. I think people were just like looking at that and not realizing how good the Niners had been like the month prior to that, where they were scoring like 40 points a game, really, really good offense. They were making things happen on defense, even though their defense wasn't really all that good. And then, I just looked across at the Eagles. I'm like, man, this offense stinks. The vibes are horrific. It's a very good defense, but I just thought the 49ers could do enough against that defense. And then, with the Eagles offense not really having any identity, not really having much rhythm, I just thought they'd be able to pull it off. And sure enough, they did. I think people just overlooked how good the 49ers had been prior to that Seahawks game. So that's kind of why I went with that.
And people are going to yell at me, especially in this town. I'm sorry. You're going to probably want me to turn in my Seahawks card. You know what? An F you if you want me to. I don't care. If I had a vote, I would vote Kyle Shanahan the coach of the year.
I think he's up there. He wouldn't be my coach of the year, but he's up there. I still think Vrabel or even Mike McDonald or McDonald. I always get McDaniel. Can you imagine if McDaniel comes to Seattle? And
how about that? There's a shot they could if he wants to be a coordinator. And if Kubiak takes a different job, we got coked out McDaniel on the sidelines in Seattle. I'll just tell you, McDaniel, the coke isn't good here. Not like Miami, and you can't wear the joggers here.
Yeah, they're stepping on it 3 or 4 times before it gets out to the Pacific Northwest.
Joggers aren't going to work here, bud.
Yeah, I was wondering if he became a Seahawks coach or just a coach of any other team, does he kind of change his look? Because he's kind of got like the Miami like gradient shades going on.
He has to change his look. He can't do that here.
To keep it.
He's going to have to go, some corduroys and some, Birkenstocks
Patagonia,
on the sideline. Yeah, some Patagonia and flannel.
Yeah. But what were we talking about? Oh, for coach of the year. I think he certainly is in the discussion because of what they've able to do with all the injuries. Like they are straight up dead last in terms of most games lost to injury. They lost their starting quarterback for like a full month and a half or whatever it was. They lost their two best players on defense, and they're still just chugging along. I mean, they had a chance, like we talked about, to be the number one seed in the NFC. They knocked off the defending champion Eagles. I don't know. I think he's certainly in the discussion. And that's why I've always like feared and respected him in the 49ers.
That's why I fear him this weekend. I know what happened in week 18. I know how they dominated, and I get it. And Dugar had a great piece this week in The Athletic. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but the last 5 meetings that McDonald has faced Shanahan, this carries over to Baltimore. I mean, his defense is dominated. They're giving up like 18 points a game. And the starters have only scored more than 17 once.
That's good to hear.
McDonald has his number. Now, can the Seahawks offense give him more than they did last game? You would hope so. But on the flip side, right, I got to feel that Shanahan and that crew is going to look at week 18 and they're going to have a lot of adjustments and throw something different at Seattle that maybe they never see before.
I think the other isn't the big difference here that Trent Williams is going to be playing against at left tackle instead of like last time where he was out, I believe, in that game. So that's like
Pearsall was out too.
If you look at, I don't have the stats in front of me, the splits in front of me, but it's dramatic, like really dramatic what the 49ers record is with Trent Williams versus not with Trent Williams. Like it's one of the starkest things you can imagine. They it's like 800 win percentage to like a 300 win percentage when he's not playing. So, I think that's obviously a huge key and being able to kind of like deal with that. But I mean, the Seahawks are going to be, they're favored. I think they are considered the better team. We just saw what they did the last time they played, but this is a rubber match between two division teams. Like anything can happen in a division game. I've always kind of felt that way. Division games have a tendency to get weird. And then when you add in the playoff atmosphere, every play matters, man. Like every turnover matters. Every decision on whether to go for it or punt or kick or whatever matters. So the playoffs are where things get really weird. And I think, I expect this will probably be a pretty close game and kind of a back and forth game.
Well, according to AI and Gemini, Trent Williams in the last 2 years, right, 24-25, they are 1-6 in games missed by Trent Williams.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, he's going to be
significantly worse without him.
Sure. And I don't know if they've given as of yet, if they've given a significant declaration whether or not he's going to play or not, but I assume he's going to play. I think all signs were pointing towards both of those guys playing this weekend. And we just got to hope, but hey, I think from Seattle's perspective, Danny's just got to be, let's just play the same game we played last time. Yep. If we play that way, and we're going to bank on Jason Myers not missing 2 field goals. And
they're going to outlast them. I think they can outlast them.
Yeah.
They can shut down the offense, and then they can do enough they can shut down the 49ers offense, and they can do enough on their offensive side of the ball where they can kind of just outlast them slowly, kind of, take over the game. As it's basically like very similar, I think, to what we saw last night with the Texans, kind of just slowly draining the life out of the Steelers. Obviously, the Steelers offense is not nearly as good as the 49ers offense, but I think that's where this is going to be. The Seahawks defense is going to be the big star of the show, and hopefully they can kind of keep playing the way that they've been playing because they've been absolutely shutting people down.
Yeah. Well, how do you think that game shakes out?
I mean, I would pick the Seahawks in it, but I think it's going to be a close one probably. I think the 49ers are probably going to do quite a bit more than they did on offense last week, or when they played last time, I should say. I don't think I can expect, like we talked about this, it was literally the worst game in the Shanahan era of what their offense did in that game. I don't think we can expect that again, especially with Trent Williams back. So, I think it'll be a close game. but I would pick the Seahawks in it. I just think their defense is better and their offense is, good enough to get the job done. They're at home. The vibes are good. The 49ers are just so beat up. The 49ers defense is not good. If the Seahawks can execute just even marginally better on offense than what they did in this last game, I think they'll be fine.
I brought this up to Dugar. I think the one thing, they don't do this a lot, but if I were Robert Saleh and like he's going to take some advice of some portly 50-year-old in Seattle, this is what I think you should do, Mr. Saleh.
Yeah.
I'd blitz the shit out of him. That's what I would
make Darnold make some mistakes.
Yeah, I'd blitz him nonstop. And they don't do it a lot, but I would. What do we have to lose? No one expected us to be here anyways with all the injuries. I'd cover 0 all out all the time.
YOLO.
That's all I would do. And be like, if we get beat on a play, fine, but we also think that maybe because he will kind of crumble at times under immense pressure, he'll throw us a gift pick, and maybe that changes the game. What about at Soldier Field, Chicago? Caleb Williams, the painted fingernails, crazy Ben Johnson.
The Iceman.
The Iceman.
They're calling him the Iceman. Have you seen this?
He's got his mouthpiece that he never puts in, but he always dangles to the side of his, the corner of his mouth.
Like Steph Curry-esque. Yeah.
It's just, I love watching the Bears play. I'm a huge Caleb Williams fan. Huge.
Yeah.
I think he was sensational at USC. I thought he got shit on a lot by a lot of people. And I remember when people, and I know dissect the draft and you cover the draft as good as anyone, when they were saying, I can't remember which game he lost at USC, but he went over and hugged his mom and he was crying. And people like, I don't think you could take this guy because he clearly is not emotionally stable, and he cried. Who fucking cares that he cried? He just lost the game. What's wrong with people?
He's definitely not the first player to have cried after a game, but crying in your mom's arms, I guess, was maybe not what they were looking for.
Okay, well, what's the difference? Did you watch when Ole Miss lost? Trinidad Chambliss went over and cried in his coach's arms. His coach from Ferris High School or Ferris State.
Look, Caleb Williams was my number one player coming into that draft.
He was phenomenal.
I could look past some of the concerns. To me, like, it was never the crying thing that didn't really bother me. It was more just like, how volatile is he going to be, as a leader, because he's kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve. And then you saw some of that as a rookie.
He's kind of aloof too. He's
aloof. He's a little bit like, he's just a different dude. And so I think it's, there was certainly concerns about like what kind of leader he's going to be, how the team's going to react to him. And then in year one, obviously, like, everything went to shit. Like, they were awful. They couldn't run plays correctly. They couldn't get lined up. Obviously, some of that was on the coaching staff and some of that was on Caleb Williams. His body language was horrific for most of the season. So I think you got to give credit to Ben Johnson. And this is why it's so important for a young quarterback, any young quarterback. Yes. One of the, like, Caleb Williams was considered a generational prospect in terms of talent. And I think he's shown that. But any young quarterback, almost any young quarterback, is going to need like a stabilizing force in their life in terms of going from college to the pros. The pros are really, really hard. And there's just a million things to learn. There's a million missing moving pieces, and just all the things you have to do just before even the ball is snapped is like, you got, like, just the reps matter. So getting a stabilizing force like Ben Johnson to come in, it seems like they, obviously winning cures all, and they've gotten lucky in a few instances in terms of like what they've done in late game turnarounds. And I think they've won like 8 games that have come down to like the final drive or whatever. It's like, it's something crazy is going on. Like, maybe this is because the Pope is a Chicago fan or whatever, but I think, just having Ben Johnson be there, he's gotten the run game going. He seems like a calming force on the sideline. Like, he's not a blow up type of coach, like overly.
He saves that for after.
Saves that for Matt LaFleur and Matt LaFleur only. For some reason, he's really intent on bullying Matt LaFleur.
Do you know why? What is it between his girlfriend and LaFleur?
I don't know. Here's my theory is that. Well, I don't know. It's a good question. My theory right now, and it'd be fun to talk to him about it, but like, Ben Johnson kind of like understood the assignment that like, this is a huge rivalry with the Packers. The Packers look at the Bears like they're their little brother, or worse. Like, they just have no respect. The old Aaron Rodgers thing, like, I own the Bears, blah, blah, blah. And I think he saw an opportunity to like fight back, punch back, be like the up and comers. So like, he's like really leaned into this rivalry and kind of like hoping that his team Well, to me, it's like it's similar if you go back to like the Pete Carroll era with, Jim Harbaugh 49ers, where the 49ers, and they might still think this and whatever, but like they think that they're the big brother of the Seahawks. They got like their rings and all that stuff. But like you got to do something to kind of shake that and earn respect. And I think that's kind of like what Ben Johnson's plan has been, is like basically like we're going to fucking punch back. And he's like gone into this thing. Like he's like not holding back. He's leaning in really hard. Like he even said in his press conference after the game, like after he had time to think about it, like I hate the Bears. I hate the Packers. I hate this organization. So, and the antics of the post game, like handshakes and all that stuff is pretty funny. But yeah, I think it's an intentional thing to rally the team and give them belief in this rivalry and like whatever. So it's another kind of like maybe genius type of strategy from Ben Johnson. I kind of love it.
Well, rivalries are great, and what makes sports so much fun, and that's a great one, and it has been for many years, and it's just taken on a life of its own. Now, I wonder if it continues, if LaFleur leaves, if they decide to move on. If you were Green Bay right now, would you bring back Matt LaFleur or bring in John Harbaugh?
LaFleur.
Okay, you would keep him.
I would keep him.
Okay. I
think it's like, so the big argument against LaFleur, I think, is like the game management stuff in the playoffs. And, that's definitely a concern. And I think, but at the end of the day, like, I think people can learn. We've seen this happen with a lot of different coaches over the years. Like Andy Reid was notorious for his late game mishaps and mismanagement of timeout. Pete Carroll over the years. And I think it is like one of those things. It's like a quarterback. It's like you learn from your experiences and you get better as you go along. That's not to say he's guaranteed to get better, but like when you think about everything else LaFleur does to raise the floor and raise the ceiling of the organization, I mean, he's legitimately got a better win percentage right now than Sean McVay. He's got a better win percentage than, some of the best he's 16th all time in win percentage as a head coach. And he's ahead of guys like Sean Payton, like I said, Sean McVay. The proof in the pudding of the playoff victories is kind of like what is just like missing right now. But I don't know. I think he's a really good coach. I think you'd be overreacting. And what else could you bring in that's better? Like, it's not like John Harbaugh has proven himself to be a better playoff performer over the years. He does have one Super Bowl. Yeah. But I don't know. That was like mainly Flacco just going unconscious for 4 straight games or whatever, and kind of helping that way.
So when we sit back here a week from today, if you'll still have us, if Netflix allows you, if you're doing a maybe a side acting piece on the Hunting Wives,
right.
Have you watched the Hunting Wives? I
have not. I've heard of it.
Go watch that one.
Okay.
Give that one a whirl.
Sure.
We're going to be talking about who in the AFC and NFC championship game.
I think you want me to give my prediction? I'll just go. I'll go with my pre-playoff predictions and kind of keep with it. I think it's going to be Seahawks, Rams.
Okay.
And then I think it's going to be Bills, Texans.
Okay.
So we got. Sorry, hold on. Did I do that right? So Texans are playing Patriots. Bills are playing.
You got it right.
Who are the Bills? Who are the Bills?
Bills play the Broncos.
Broncos. Right.
Yeah, I like it. Listen, if there's one team I'm going to root for, if Seattle doesn't win the whole thing, is the Bills.
Yep.
I want to see Josh Allen get it done. And I want to see the fan base win it. I do.
Yeah.
They've been through a lot. No fan base deserves going to that damn game 4 straight times and losing.
I know. I'm kind of, I'm sort of just into the whole like narrative thing of, this is the year for Josh because, you got Mahomes, you got Lamar, you got Burrow all out. This is the year when he does his superhero impression and kind of just carries this very flawed Bills team all the way. So I'm kind of like buying into that narrative, but like, man, Josh Allen is just on a different level.
Well, he would be the one guy if the Seahawks can get through the Niners and then whoever they play in the NFC Championship game, likely the Rams. He would be the one team, one player that I would fear the most coming out of the AFC.
Yeah.
Not because they're the most complete team. It's just because of him. Because he would be the X factor.
Yeah. 100%.
He could go off in the Super Bowl. They haven't played a quarterback like him. A guy that is as mobile as he is, and just, I mean,
he changes the math. He changes the arithmetic on how you defend that team, because like they can run the ball. And this is like, I was talking about this with the Jags. Like the Jags stopped the Bills' run game. The Bills this year were one of the best run teams in the NFL. James Cook was one of the best. He won the rushing title this year. Like this is a really elite run offense, and the Jags were able to shut that down. But Josh Allen, he's just the X factor. He's the guy who kind of can like make up for, if you have one part of your game plan completely fail, he can kind of come in and like lift everything else up. So yeah. And then obviously the Bills got 2 turnovers on defense. That was huge. So yeah, I agree with you though. He scares me. I think the Texans defense scares the crap out of me, if I'm being honest.
Sure.
They're just so good. We just saw that last night. They're just so good. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Is obviously like setting up a potential NFC Championship game with the Rams. That's exciting. NFC West, man.
It's done. I mean, it was. We knew it in the beginning of the year. Once the season started, it was the best division in football, and it's proved to be that. 3 of the last 4 teams remaining in the NFC coming from that division, and it was all year long. Continues to be in the playoffs, and that's a team like the Niners. That weren't even at full strength the entire year. Well, there he is. Danny Kelly shares the same spotlight at the Ringer with folks at Cobra Kai. Last Chance U.
Yeah.
Check out the new Sean Combs. Do you guys have to add like, hey, thank you guys for watching the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. Hey, be sure to check out Sean Combs' The Reckoning, now playing on Netflix. 4 episodes.
We're not required to, but we do because we really like that content.
Yeah, that's great.
It's great content.
Yeah. Get yourself a bottle of wine. Check us out next week on the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. But in between then, get yourself a bottle of wine and some alone time and check out The Hunting Wives on Netflix. Now streaming.
Oh, boy.
All right, Danny Kelly. Once again, congratulations. Real cool stuff, man. Really, really happy for you and your partners over there. Just really cool for you guys to be on Netflix. Got to be a big moment for you. So appreciate you carving out a little bit of time for us every single week to talk football. Thank you.
Absolutely. Love you, man.